I'm Madeleine Bialke. I'm from upstate New York. I live and work in Brooklyn. I take photos and I find what's interesting to me about the photo, and then I do a drawing, and then I do a painting of the drawing. And that sort of it's a way for me to like loosen up the motif and bring it into a more emotional space. I think the paintings are about my feelings about climate crisis and the feelings about living in a time where there's sort of always impending doom on the horizon, but the landscape is still full of love and the landscape is still full of community. A lot of my paintings are, the trees sort of are stand-ins for human figures or a kind of symbolic figure, and A-Team is about two trees sort of blowing in a wind with a darkened, moody atmosphere, and sort of like trees overcoming obstacles. I use color, I think, to talk about climate change and to talk about a sort of altered reality. But I think that color is more like an emotional space.
Hi, my name is Brittney Leeanne Williams. I'm a painter originally from Southern California, but now have a painting practice in Chicago. I think that there are two works in the show that directly speak to this idea of intimacy. I'm definitely interested in borders, boundaries, bars, fences. So they're both prisons while also protectors. And so I think of like even body poses, the crossed or folded arms being an image, or like even like a way to protect oneself. You're both holding yourself while also possibly keeping something out. Wandering has been in my studio for a long time. What made me curious is I think I was in California when the work, like when the sketch phase started. I was thinking about, a landscape encasing the body. And I was feeling it when driving through the San Bernardino Mountains. Like, you are really encased. And it's almost like the ground kind of rises up with these mountains and kind of just holds you. And I also love to present a border only for my figures to breach it or break out of it.
Hi, I'm Alyina. I am a painter from New Delhi, India. I grew up in Delhi, I was born there, but I'm also part Kashmiri and spent part of each year growing up in Kashmir with my grandparents. And I think that definitely did shape me as a person, and that is where I really started painting. Each painting is a bit different. So sometimes I start with a color palette, and sometimes the color palette is influenced by a certain memory I had of a scene that took place in childhood or going out into a landscape, or it's taken from like art historical references, so of manuscripts. Like for example in Pulgari, that's on show, there were two lines which started that painting, which were about depicting an angel giving birth, really, and that's what the painting is about. It's celebration of birth and fertility. I wanted to paint something where the angels sort of, you could see the enormity and the sublimity of a force of nature, and you could see that through just these massive wings unfurling.